Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen are both now hinting at Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2. Although it initially seemed as though Obi-Wan Kenobi was going to be a limited Star Wars series with just one season, that has been called into serious question following comments from Obi-Wan Kenobi actor Ewan McGregor and Anakin Skywalker actor Hayden Christensen. Obi-Wan Kenobi is one of several Star Wars shows that began as movies. This was a particularly big change for this show, as the original plan was an Obi-Wan Kenobi trilogy. Following that shift, it felt safe to assume Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 1 was going to be the only installment of the show. Season 1 was set 10 years after Star Wars, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith in the Star Wars timeline, so approximately halfway through the Dark Times. With the show's face-off between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Obi-Wan Kenobi ending perfectly setting up A New Hope, these assumptions seem to be proven true. Yet, in light of recent comments from McGregor and Christensen, Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 could be coming after all. Ewan McGregor has been dropping hints about Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 for months. In September, McGregor said there were another few stories to tell between Obi-Wan Kenobi and A New Hope, and he directly said he hoped they get a chance to do another one. More recently, these hints have become much more direct and detailed. In October, McGregor spoke about the possibility of Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2, indicating that he would need to be younger, either via de-aging or some other means. Perhaps the most compelling of all the hints thus far, McGregor explained that, by appearing younger, he and Hayden Christensen could really get back together again. McGregor also mentioned his interest in donning the iconic Clone Wars armor from Star Wars, The Clone Wars. As the details have gotten more specific, Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 has seemed more and more likely. Many have argued that there is nothing left to say or that continuing the story would ruin what's come before, but it seems Star Wars may already have a specific vision for the story. While McGregor has made multiple comments in recent months, Hayden Christensen seems to have just joined the conversation by revealing that Star Wars has got some stuff brewing for an Anakin and Obi-Wan reunion. It's no secret that Christensen is always game for more involvement in the franchise. He has frequently spoken about how delighted he was to return in Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 1 and Ahsoka Season 1, and he has long said he will continue to come back as often as they ask. It's therefore quite safe to assume Christensen would be on board for Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2, and the evidence that a new season is coming only seems to be mounting. It would be more than a little odd for both Christensen and McGregor to be hinting so heavily that something is in the works, if this is only their hope. In fact, Christensen's comment about stuff brewing directly suggests he is already in talks with Star Wars about an Obi-Wan and Anakin return. Combined with McGregor's multiple comments, Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 seems more likely than ever, despite some discourse to the contrary. There is so much Star Wars could do with Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2, some of which McGregor has already nodded toward. As McGregor himself mentioned, with Star Wars de-aging technology, which the franchise has used many times, such as with Luke Skywalker in The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett and Anakin himself in Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ahsoka, Christensen and McGregor could come back together as Anakin and Obi-Wan in the Clone Wars era. This would be truly thrilling. As live-action Clone Wars Obi-Wan hasn't been seen yet, this would also build upon the work Ahsoka began by bringing Clone Wars-era live-action Anakin and Ahsoka Tano in the world between worlds. Getting to see McGregor in Clone Wars armor would be just as thrilling, and it would permit Obi-Wan Kenobi to revisit the beloved relationship between Anakin and Obi-Wan in a brand new way. There are also a host of other beloved characters who could return in this case, namely, both Satine Kryze and Asajj Ventress could have their live-action debuts in Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2. Ventress' return in The Bad Batch Season 3 has already confirmed Ventress remained active during the Dark Times, and Star Wars has confirmed that she will be returning to Star Wars at some point in the future. Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 would arguably be the perfect time and show in which to do this, as Obi-Wan and Ventress have a fascinating history. To say the least, Satine Kryze also hasn't been seen or really even mentioned since her appearance in the Clone Wars. This is truly a great disservice to the character, who was both brilliant in her own right as the Duchess of Mandalore and was compelling as Obi-Wan's shocking love interest. Bringing her to life in a Clone Wars flashback or full story would be incredible and would finally allow McGregor to act out that relationship as well. But of course, with Ariana Greenblatt as young Ahsoka, Ahsoka could also be in Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 in a Clone Wars flashback or story, which would bring the iconic Clone Wars trio together in live action for the first, and likely only, time. While some would undoubtedly bristle at the announcement of a second season of Obi-Wan Kenobi, as McGregor said, there are more stories to tell. With time, Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 has only seemed more likely, and as Star Wars Celebration 2025 is just around the corner, Star Wars may be on the brink of a major announcement.